all know the difference between listening to a really good, experienced reader and listening to a reader who is struggling or who is a beginning or developing reader. That difference is usually what we call fluency. Now, in education, we use the word fluency to describe reading speed plus the flow of the reading. It's one of the things that, as a reading specialist that works with second grade, I focus on the most. Because once that child masters a phonics skill and develops fluency with that skill, he or she is ready to go on to the other skills. Fluency is something that kids need to be practicing every day. And it's difficult to get them enough practice while they're in school, because this is something that kids really should be practicing one-on-one. So this is something that you can help your kid or your son or your daughter with in 1 minute a day, up to maybe you have 5 minutes a day, or maybe you have a little bit more time that you can practice fluency with them. It's difficult as a parent to know what to do all the time. A lot of times the teachers will tell you, just make sure you read, read, read. And yes, that is true, but I'm gonna give you a couple tips to make it really simple, fun, and easy. First tip is make sure that you have enough easy to read material at your house for your child to practice with. If you do not, or if the material that's coming home from school is a little bit too hard, or maybe much too hard for your child, please ask your teacher, and your teacher will collaborate with me, Janelle Thomas, or the other reading specialists to come up with some material that you can use these strategies I'm going to show you with your child, and some material that's on your child's level or perhaps a little bit too easy for your child that you can really get to practice these fluency strategies. That's the biggest problem I see with kids that are on like a kindergarten reading level, or kids who are just starting to learn how to read. A lot of the times the books that we have, that we buy at the store, are too difficult for our students, or they're too difficult for the children. And so they don't get the practice with the easy material. Now, every activity that you do at home doesn't have to be a fluency activity. You can have your child read anything. You can help them read anything you want. You can have them read the story out of their book. But a fluency activity, you really especially want the material to be easy. Research shows that repeated readings cause fluency, reading speed, and reading flow to go up. Now, how do we get students to want to read something more than once? Because a lot of times they say, I already read that, right? Well, I found a strategy that works. A strategy that will make your kids want to read, and want to read faster, want to read more accurately. All you do is use one of the NIHouse reading sheets that we can send home to you from our reading program. It's just a list of words, or you can use a short story, or you can use a book. And you have the child read the page or read the story. Now, if it's a story, it should not be any more than 3 minutes long. You can have them read for 1 or 2 minutes and have them stop. At the end of the page or the end of the story, write down how many errors did your child make on that story, and how many seconds did it take the child to read. That's all you have to do. The next time you read, or it can be right away, immediately, you can have your child practice that text again, or it can be the next day, you do the same exact thing. You write down the number of errors and you write down the number of seconds. And as your child sees the number of errors going down and the number of seconds going down, they're going to be excited to see more and more progress. And they're going to realize practice really does make perfect. And it's really neat to see how they begin to feel that text getting easier for them, and they can see oh, my time's getting better. I'm really fast. I'm really good at this. And that builds confidence. And that's what we want to do when we're teaching kids to read. We just want to build that confidence, help them to see that they're getting better and they'll want to practice more. So the key with this is make sure you have good materials to use. Please call or text or message your child's teacher, and they can work with us, reading specialists, and we can get that material out to you, whether it's a word list from our reading program or whether it's a short story. Mrs. Wagner had a great video on a parent tutorial on cold reads. And if you watch that video, she'll show you more about how to do this with a short story. But if you're using the word list, basically you want to make sure that your child masters that list before going on to the next list. We will write some directions down for you if this is something you want to try with your child, but you want them to be able to read the page in 1 minute or less with 2 or fewer errors, and that's considered mastery. Then they can go on to the next page. You also want to make sure that you feel that your child is confident with that page and it's really flowing well on that page, or you can keep practicing. You know, if your child is excited, oh, I did that in 12 seconds and I really want to try to do it in 10, you can go for it. Let them practice. The more that fluency is improved, the more their overall reading has the opportunity to go up, because then we can build by teaching them more advanced skills in school and actually get them to apply those skills to their everyday reading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do not hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher or email me at janelle.thomas@k12.wv.us. janelle.thomas@k12.wv.us. We would be happy to answer any questions about how to help your child with fluency, with their reading, or with any other skill that you have questions about. Thank you so much for wanting to go the extra mile to work with your child.